Now, I know there's still a bit of Game Week 25 to go, but there's already plenty to talk about. So in this video, here are players to buy and avoid for Game Week 26. So the first player I wanted to talk about is Hwang Hee-chan of Wolves. I think personally, he is going to be my top transfer target for Game Week 26. He's got Sheffield United in Game Week 26 and then Newcastle in Game Week 27, followed by Fulham and Bournemouth, right? Sheffield United, probably the worst team in the Premier League at the moment alongside Burnley. Newcastle, they're bottom of the league for expected goals conceded in the last month. Then Fulham and Bournemouth, they're not great defensively either. So for fixtures for the next four, I think from an attacking perspective, they're absolutely fantastic. And he's on penalties for Wolves as well. If you've watched this channel for any length in time, you know that I absolutely love a penalty taker because it means regardless of whether they're getting any service, regardless of the quality of game that they're having, if the opposition commits a foul in the box, he's got a chance of scoring, right? And I just really like having penalty takers as an extra string to the bow. And Hwang has put up some really decent numbers so far this season, right? He's got 13 attacking returns from 18 starts. He's obviously back from the Asia Cup now, played the full 90 in Game Week 25, so we can only assume that he's going to start in Game Week 26. I actually think, I was about to say he's a clinical finisher because he's outperformed his XG. Yes, I do believe he's an absolutely lethal finisher, and that's why he's outperformed his XG. He did miss a bit of a chance in Game Week 25, though. But that, of course, means Wolves are creating chances for him, right? And at 5.5 million, bar Cole Palmer, I don't think you can beat him for value over the next few game weeks. And particularly if you're selling someone like Jota, who has been confirmed injured, I'll give a bit more info of him towards the end of the video. But he could also enable midfield upgrades elsewhere. So, I mean, going Jota to Hwang, it saves you nearly 3 million. And that could enable you to get someone like Son or Salah when he's hopefully back fit in Game Week 27. So, I mean, Salah's going to be really important to have at that point, I think, in my opinion. He's going to be a really nice player to own. And if downgrading a midfielder, saving yourself some cash by buying Hwang allows you to do that, well, I think it's almost a no-brainer. And particularly considering the fixtures he's got over the next couple of game weeks, he's going to be a really good option. Right, the next player I wanted to talk about is one I think I've spoken about, Tony, right? Every week since he's returned from his betting ban. And I'm just so pleased that I was right and that he's done all right. I mean, 5 attacking returns from 5 starts since his return from that betting ban. It's just absolutely fantastic, right? He's one of the best forwards in the league, without a doubt. Nailed to start for Brentford, takes their penalties, he takes their free kicks without Mbumo and the team, plays 90 minutes every week. I mean, he ticks all the boxes of a good, safe FPL asset, right? Doesn't blank in Game Week 26, particularly if you're not free hitting in Game Week 29. He's a fantastic option to buy now because he's got Burnley that week and he obviously doesn't blank like other teams do, right? As I said, I just think he's fantastic and he's reasonably, I'd say relatively fixture-proof, pretty much as fixture-proof as I think you can get, right? Scored against Liverpool in Game Week 25, obviously hasn't played his fixture against City yet, but in the reverse one last season at the Etihad, I'm pretty sure he scored 2 goals and he's putting up some really nice numbers, right? And 9.2% owned, he's a nice differential. I do completely appreciate that there is such a surplus of good forwards in the game at the moment that are scoring goals, right? Don't get me wrong. I just think Tony is probably one of the picks of all of them. Purely because he's nailed to start for Brentford. He's pretty much fixture-proof. On the penalties, free kicks, plays 90 minutes every week. No doubt about it. I really like him as an option. Next up then, I just wanted to feature Gabriel. You probably already own him if you're watching this video, right? But if you don't, I think he is probably the best defender in the game right now. Nailed to start for Arsenal, doesn't blank in Game Week 26, got Sheffield United in Game Week 27. He's a really good goal threat from set pieces, and Arsenal are one of the top scoring teams this season from set pieces. Now they've got Declan Rice taking him. They look like they can score from every free kick they get on the edge of the box, every corner they get. They look dangerous. And Arsenal are the best defence in the league statistically this season as well. They rank number 1 in the league for expected goals conceded. 21.7 expected goals conceded. Gabriel, at the start of the season, we did see him getting rotated, but I think you can consider him nailed in that team, given just how good he's been from set pieces and how good Arsenal have been defensively. And yeah, 5.2 million, when you compare him to, I guess, Trippier and Trent, who are in some cases 3 million more expensive than him. He's putting up equal attacking returns and getting a lot more clean sheets. So yeah, I really like Gabriel. And if you don't have him already, get him in your team. Now, given how good Arsenal have been defensively, I'm currently doubled up on Gabriel and Saliba, and I think you probably should be too. Saliba's obviously 0.5 million more expensive than Gabriel and does offer a little bit less goal threat. So I will definitely say that Gabriel, in my opinion in FPL, was probably the stronger pick of the two, but I wouldn't rule out the double up. And for all the reasons I spoke about Gabriel already, right? And Saliba, he's probably a little bit more nailed in that team than Gabriel. If there was ever going to be some Arsenal defensive rotation in their centre-back positions, I think Gabriel would be the first choice to be rotated. I don't know what you think, but I genuinely think Saliba, he could well be the best centre-back in the world at the moment. I support Man United, so saying that takes quite a bit from me, but I genuinely think that his place in that Arsenal team is as secure as it gets. And all the plus sides for Gabriel kind of relate to Saliba too. Obviously, the clean sheets, great for expected goals conceded. That's obviously the same. He does offer a little bit less goal threat than Gabriel. You can see it there. He's got 2 goals and 1 assist from 25 starts. Gabriel's got 3 from 21 starts, right? So 1 more attacking return from Gabriel. But Gabriel is a lot more dangerous, I have noticed, from set pieces. And Saliba, well, he started a lot more games. He's also kept a couple of clean sheets that Gabriel hasn't as well. But yeah, just with the fixtures Arsenal have coming up, the sheer lack of clean sheets around the rest of the league, right? There aren't really many teams that are consistently keeping clean sheets and looking like a Loctite defence. Arsenal definitely look that way. And, you know, if you're already on Gabriel, I'd really consider getting Saliba in for a double up. All right, I wanted to talk about Solanke next because I'll admit he doesn't have the best fixture in Game Week 26 against Man City, but the following fixtures afterwards are amazing. He's got Burnley in Game Week 27 and then a double game week featuring Sheffield United and Luton in Game Week 28, right? He's an absolutely fantastic option. And yeah, I mean, from Game Week 27 onwards, the fixtures are fantastic, right? Double game week in 28. If you haven't used your triple captain in Game Week 25 and he stays fit, I mean, Game Week 28 looks to be a really good opportunity to use it. Not only has he got pretty much the two of the worst defences in the league, right, in Sheffield United and Luton, he plays both of them at home as well. They're both home fixtures for him, which I think is a real help for strikers, right? He's nailed to start. Ticks all the same boxes as Tony, who I mentioned earlier, right? Nailed to start, on penalties, plays 90 minutes, just ticks all the boxes of a good, safe pair of hands in FPL, really. And he's putting up great numbers this season, right? 17 attacking returns from 24 starts for 6.9 million. Unbelievable value. And I'm just thinking, if you've got Darwin Núñez in your team, who obviously blanks in Game Week 26, yes, the Man City fixture in Game Week 26 isn't ideal against Man City, but yeah, I still think he's worth transferring in for Game Week 26. So yeah, Dominic Solanke, definitely a good option to buy. Another player who I think he could well be one of the best assets in FPL right now, and that's Bukayo Saka. And I've kept in from probably a couple of months ago where he was in a bit of a poor run of form. And I think one thing I wanted to talk about around Saka, not only just telling that he's a really good option, right? It kind of proves the power of patience in FPL because he is the highest owned player in the game, I think, still at the moment. It might be Haaland's overtaken him, but he's still one of the most popular players in the game, right? But there are a lot of people that sold him in previous game weeks because he wasn't performing. And I think Saka is a prime example of where patience pays in FPL. I think one of the most underrated skills in fantasy football is just the ability to remain patient in a good asset. Because we all know across a couple of seasons now, Saka has put up, 20 to 25 attacking returns per season. So we all know that he was a good asset and it was just a poor run of form. And those that sold him have probably been punished now. But those that kept him were patient, a few blanks, have been rewarded in recent game weeks. And I think you see Saka now as in really good form, facing the worst defence in the league at the moment in Newcastle and then Sheffield United in Game Week 27, right? And you don't have to use a transfer to bring him in because you've already got him. Other things about Saka, I mean, he's Arsenal's designated penalty taker, right? So he has given some of them away this season, but he took and scored their last one. And he's their talisman and just their best player, right? And the great thing about Saka, unlike Martinelli or Trossard, who could play on the left wing, there is zero competition for his spot on the right wing. So he is going to start, he has been started in every single game that he's even remotely available for. I mean, I think Arteta would play him on the right wing on crutches the way that he's been started this season. And as I said, this is what I said a couple of months ago. He is a player that will reward patience, right? Even if he doesn't return in a couple of game weeks, I don't think you can get rid of him just because he's on penalties, nailed on for one of the best teams in the league. He's going to get goals. And what's that? 20 attacking returns from 24 starts for 9 million. Absolutely fantastic. I mentioned that I was going to give you an update on Diogo Jota. I've spoken about a couple of midfielders there that you could buy in his place. Early update from Jota's camp. This is Jack Lusby, he's a journalist from the This Is Anfield website, so a bit of a Liverpool insider account. Jota's damaged his cruciate ligament, and he could miss a couple of months for Liverpool. So I think is that the patella cruciate ligament, something like that. I'm not a medical expert, but he did basically jumped up for a header. If you didn't see the game, he jumped up for a header and landed, and the Brentford player that challenged him in the air landed on his knee. So he basically, his knee bared, while he was led on the ground, bared the full weight, of the Brentford player's body, and it bent backwards. So Jota's expected to be out for a couple of months. So, I mean, if you have him, you got to sell him at this point, right? If he's out for a couple of months. So hopefully the players I suggested you buy help replace Diogo Jota. All right, and that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry that I didn't get this video out on Saturday night as I usually do. I've mentioned this on my channel. I'm not sure how many people actually saw the post. I do quite regularly upload on a Saturday evening, but like I said, I was at a swimming competition this weekend, so I was busy on Saturday, and then I had a swimming competition on Sunday that I needed to get ready for. So unfortunately, I just didn't have time to do a video on Saturday. Just the way life goes sometimes, right? But I'm back now. Should be a video coming out pretty much every day this coming week, so stick around for that. Subscribe, by the way, if you're not already to do so. It should be just here in a second. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you think of the players I recommended there. And I will catch you in my next video.